What's up, pod pals? It's your buddy Adam, and you are checking out Podcasting Business School. This is the show where I teach podcasters how to love their show like a hobby and build it like a business. If you're looking for some podcasting tips on how to launch, grow, monetize a podcast, especially if you're in the coaching industry, this is going to be your jam. I have one of my very favorite coaches out there in the space. She's helping people grow six-figure coaching businesses left and right. She's got an amazing success rate. We'll dive into all the things. We've got Dr. Terri Levine here in the house today. How's it going, Dr. Terri?
I'm excited to be here and create value. So it's going great.
Well, I've really enjoyed getting to know you. We just had a giant laugh. We were telling podcasting stories before we even got started today. So I feel like we already got the juices flowing. We're warmed up. So I want to dive right in. I love like somebody with as much experience as you have in this industry. I want to know like that origin story. Tell us the story about how you first broke into the coaching space and what that looked like.
So I think it's about almost 30 years ago now that I just was sick of corporate America. I was president of a national healthcare company, and everything was about monetizing. They could care less about people. And I went, this isn't how I want to spend the rest of my life. So I literally said goodbye to that. I opened my doors to my coaching and consulting business. And I just called everyone I knew and I said, hey, here's what I'm doing. And I had 30 clients in 30 days.
Wow.
I knew I was doing the right thing. I have never, ever looked back. I love my life. I love my clients. And I know I'm transforming people's lives.
Okay. So it's about 50-50 for me when I approach people and I go and I bring up the topic of coaching. Sometimes people are like gun shy about calling themselves a coach. Like my friend, I just released an episode yesterday with my friend Jerome. He's like, I was really hesitant to put myself in that coaching box. But now that he's just accepted it, he's like all about it. And he's amazing. Why do you think that is? Why is that coaching hesitancy label happening out there?
Well, having been in the industry for such a long time and owned a couple of coach training schools, what started in the very beginning 30 years ago is people didn't know what a coach was. So you'd say you were a coach, they'd be like, what's that? What sport? What team? And so that was a difficulty. Then over the years, the last at least 10 years, people now know what coaching is. However, everyone hangs up a shingle, goes, hey, I'm a coach, which is in the industry a really bad name. There's a lot of fake experts out there. So I technically will tell you I'm a business consultant, which I am, who brings in coaching skills, which are very different than consulting. So I say to people, put yourself out there as a consultant who also has coaching skills. That's my recommendation, Adam.
So I'm a podcasting consultant with business coaching assets that I can deploy upon your podcast and grow it to the next level. This time it's for real.
It's for real. And yes, you are. And yes, you do.
All right, cool. I'm going to start using that. All right. I want to dive in to the nuts and bolts of this because you have so much information. I've binged on your podcast, Modern Coaching Method. Everybody go. It's very consumable. It's very delightful. And you're going to have just brainstorms happening left and right. I'm like, oh, this is so good. So I want to talk about a few of the key differences that are happening between somebody that's a struggling coach versus somebody that's a six-figure per year coach. What are you seeing as far as like that low-hanging fruit? Like this is where we're screwing it up and this is where we need to transition into.
So this is a perfect conversation because I literally just got off the phone with a client who had been learning under some other mentor. And for 2 years, literally, she barely had any clients and she was about to leave the industry. She has been with me for 3 weeks and she has signed up 9 people. And here's the difference. I don't have her creating content. I don't have her blasting stuff and spending time on social media. I have her adding value, literally talking to all of her friends, all of her family, neighbors, community members, church members, people from organizations, groups, you name it. and offering 2-hour deep dives for them. I'm not talking about a breakthrough that's a sales pitch in disguise or complimentary coaching. She gets on with you, transforms your life. And at the end, she simply says, do you want more transformation? If you do, I can tell you how to work with me. Boom, 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 boom. That's how they sign up. That's the big difference.
So value add is one of my hot button phrases. You know this, like the very first time we talked, we were just like totally
Right.
synergized in the way that we approach. We're like, you're my friend now. Okay, Adam, you're my friend now too. Like we vibe well with each other in our methods, and like relationship building, value add, all of that is so huge for me because I'm not a great funnel builder. I'm not a great automated thing builder, but I'm a great friend maker. I'm a great teacher. I'm passionate when I teach. So when we talk about like, I know there are a lot of listeners out there that are like, yeah, I'm not great at funnels or email marketing or any of that stuff either, but I am very passionate about what I'm actually doing. Like, how do we initiate those initial relationships? Like, how do we start to nurture these? We get in front of some people. All right, now what do we do? That's the question I get a lot. Now what do I do? So any thoughts on that?
Yeah, and that's a great question. So the first thing I want to say is ask yourself what business you're in. If you're coach, consultant, speaker, trainer, podcaster, author, blogger, you are in the business of transforming lives, whether it's someone's life, their business, their health, or their relationships. That's what you're in the business of. So you're not in the business of email marketing, creating books and texting people and sitting around hiding on social media thinking somehow that's the golden ticket. You're in the business of transforming lives. All I want to do every day is transform lives. I wake up in the morning and go, oh, who can I help today? Just like you. That's my passion. So that's what you start doing. Don't look, this is going to sound contrary. Don't look for a niche. Don't look for a niche. Your market will choose you. Just start asking everyone you know. So when somebody new connects with me on Facebook, I'm like, hey, I don't know what you're up to, what's going on in your world. I do something very unique and unusual. I don't do a sales pitch. I have nothing to offer you or sell you other than I would love to see if I can help make a difference in your life. Are you open to that? If they say yes, I literally gift them 2 hours of my time, and I am not there to sell them. And I'll tell you what, number one, lots of people get interested because if you really transform their lives, they want your help. And number two, even if they don't want to go further, I simply say, I'm glad you had a transformation. That was my goal. Who do you know whose life you would like me to transform? I almost always get at least 2, sometimes 3 referrals.
Nice.
That's it.
Now, with that 2-hour session, are we talking webinar? Are we talking one-on-one consults? What's that format look like?
This is where people usually go, oh my gosh, so this is what I teach that no one else teaches. I've been in the industry a long time. I'm telling you, nobody does it. How do you do a deep dive? How do you actually create a breakthrough? It's one person at a time. It's heart to heart, open, curious, listening with everything you have and not speaking other than asking questions or making observations or sharing truths that are so brutally honest that they will transform how the person in front of you lives the rest of their life. I really mean that. So when someone gets on a deep dive one-to-one breakthrough with me, I am with them as if they just paid me $100,000. I am fully with them. I am in the moment. Nothing else exists, me and them. I listen. I connect with my heart. I hear way underneath their words. And then I start questioning, challenging, sharing observations, and creating that breakthrough. That's what people need to be taught. That's what I specialize in, really, is teaching people how do you do these breakthroughs, because most people have no clue.
Okay, well, let's even peel it back or go back one step, because I know the next question, because I know my audience, they're like, who do we actually give one of these to? Is this just on our website, sign up, or is there any pre-qualification before we spend 2 hours with somebody? So what does it look like? Is there any sort of weeding out or pre-qualification process?
So one of my client family members, Ken Attard, recently asked me the same question. And he said, don't I have to pre-qualify people? Don't they sign up? No. You offer these to everyone you know, and you don't pre-qualify them, because once you do, you're right in that typical coaching mindset. I'm going to do this session, complimentary session, which is really a sales pitch in disguise. I have an outcome in mind. Man, I hope they're going to buy from me. I go in with zero outcome. I have no expectation other than, Terri, you need to do your best and transform someone's life. Ask everyone you know, go through your phone, go through your contacts, go through your emails, go through and think about everybody you have met in business your whole life, all of your family, all of your friends. I'm going to share something that another client family member told me. She didn't offer a session initially to her sister because she's like, my sister's not going to have interest. See, that's prejudging and that's pre-qualifying, right? You call people and you offer. So she didn't offer it. About 4 months ago, her sister said, I am so insulted. I know you've been doing these for everyone and you didn't want to do one for me. So be selfless. Just pick up the phone, not hiding behind email or texting. Use that thing called a phone and say, hey, Adam, I think I can help you have a breakthrough in an area of your life. It's 2 full hours of my time. I have nothing to pitch you or sell you. This is what I do. I'm a specialist in transforming lives. I would like the honor and privilege of doing that with you. Are you open? That's it.
Nice. Okay. So let's say we kind of get our rhythm and our niche has found us, and we start to be like, this is where I'm passionate about. This is the zone where I'm really interested. That special cross section of you're super interested and you're finding super big impact with the people that you're working with. And you're like, this is my jam. How do we grow that into a 6-figure business? Like, what are some components that you're like, these are must add components of a 6-figure coaching experience? And maybe we can dive into some tools too. Like, I'm a big fan when I do coaching, obviously, of like having some sort of a dashboard. Like you and I work together and I've got the little dashboard. I love taking notes. I love it that you can see it. I can see it, like stuff like that. Or do you think there needs to be a one-to-many component? There needs to be office hours? Like, what's that 6-figure coaching experience look like? What are some things that you feel like are must-have value adds if you're going to be charging a premium?
So the first thing I tell all my client family members is, first, let's design your life. Most people do this backwards. They design their business and they have no life and they just created a job. Okay. So first, design your life. Pretend you're opening a store. What are the store hours? And if it's, you say, I stop at 5, let me tell you, you stop at 5. You close the store at 5 o'clock. Let's say you say, I only want to work 3 days a week. Great. Establish that now. Design your life first with your boundaries. The second thing that you have to understand, I did thousands of hours of individual coaching when I first started, and I mean thousands. And then one day I realized I am saying the same thing over and over again. I am telling this person, what? So I did my first group when no one was doing groups, like 28 years ago. I had 35 people enroll in my group. I made more money in that 1-hour group than I was able to make in a month working 40 to 50 hours. The big game changer, please really breathe this in, is people said to me, I'm doing better in the group than I was individually. And I looked at that. Yes, there's synergy, there's synchronicity. Somebody asks a question or makes a statement and you're like, oh, I didn't even think of that. Or vicariously, as I'm coaching or consulting them, you're like, oh, that's for me too. So I do everything in group. You can't hire me privately. I don't work with you individually. I work in groups. I have worked in groups for 28 years now. All my client family members are taught only to work in groups because groups have faster results and they allow you to leverage and optimize your business. I have to say one other thing. I wrote a book years ago with Stephen Covey, and Stephen Covey was very big on talking about start with the end in mind. What's the reason that you have your business? If it's all you working with people one-to-one, you don't have a leverageable asset, you don't have a sellable asset, you can't pass it on to your family, you're not creating a dynasty or a wealth legacy. You've created another job where you're trading time for money, and you're not going to transform as many lives or make a big impact. And I'm in the business of transforming as many lives as I can. So that's my advice.
Well said. All right. I've got questions about the group format. So what do you suggest, or do you have any recommendations on group size to start with? I know that's probably a question that our listeners have. Like, all right, what's my goal? What am I shooting for? A 5-person group, a 10-person group? What are the first initial baby steps that we should look to achieve when we're talking about group coaching?
Great question. So first you want to think about what would that experience be to give people the result. So I looked at what do people really need to get the result, in my case of 6 figures within 6 months guaranteed. What do they need? So I said, okay, they're going to need these trainings. I need to put them together. They're going to need a workbook of some sort. They're going to need calendars. They're going to need planners. And I created all the resources before I brought anybody into the group. The next thing that I did was I looked at all the different tools that are out there. My client family members have a private Slack channel with me. They upload video questions every day. I answer video questions every day. They upload their home, we call it home play, their home play every day. I review their home play every day. So I spend about an hour a day looking and communicating with my client family members. We use Slack. That works for us. We do video, we do audio, and we drop documents there. So that happens to work for us. Then I don't recommend that you start with a big group. You're going to want to get experience. I'm not as the same coach that I was, consultant that I was before that I am now. I tell people all the time. So I've had people with me the whole time and they're like, oh my God. Like, yes, I'm continuously working on myself too. Start with a smaller group. Even if you have 5 people, 3 people, get your experience of how do I handle a group? How does it work? The largest groups that I recommend, if you're very experienced, around 25. Otherwise, you're not giving people enough interaction and time. I had one with 160 people, and I literally said, you guys, I'm dividing you up into several groups. Didn't work well. Okay. So 25 is the top number. And the last thing, I have a client, she just started with me. She said, I only got 3 people signed up for this group. I said, well, how much? $5,000 each. I go, so you got $15,000. Go help those people, ask all of them for a case study. Next time you'll get 10 people. That's how it works.
Yep. All right. Next layer is what I love interviews like this. So I'm like, okay. And here's the next question that I've got that's just like popping up. So this reminds me of my time as a gym owner. All right. And I would obviously we had like personal training that was kind of like always going on. We could do group personal training, but the dynamic transformation tended to happen when we would do an 8-week boot camp, when a slightly larger group of people would get together and it was like 8 weeks. Let's dial in, let's focus in. So what are your thoughts of an ongoing kind of always existing group? Maybe you've got a coaching group of 10 people and it's just month-to-month payments or yearly payments. And if they want to leave, they exit and someone else can take that spot, versus let's do an 8-week coaching session on a particular topic where there's a very specific goal and there's a start date and an end date. Any pluses or minuses? What do you like? What do you not like?
Great question. So I always tell my clients to run 2 different kinds of groups. One is going to be the higher investment group that has the bigger result. And typically that's 12 months, not a Band-Aid. It's a real transformation. It takes time. I have clients in my group and I've had people like renew over and over again for 20 something years. Okay. They don't have to, they can exit at the end of a year. They're committed for a year. Then I do smaller groups that are 9 weeks to accomplish just one small goal. Maybe it's creating your automated webinar. Maybe it's creating your high ticket program, whatever it might be. Now I've got the one where in 9 weeks, you're going to be able to create your 6-figure coaching business and really establish the entire business, all aspects of it. I like those 9-week ones because they are sort of like that boot camp, that challenge mentality. Let me get in and get her done. So I recommend that you do both.
Okay. So with that boot camp mentality, the issue that I see popping up for myself is I will try to cram too much in there, or too many topics, too many checkpoints. How do you know that you are trying to cram too much in there, or how do you kind of pare it down, or any recommendations on just having that single point of focus, going deep instead of wide, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Well, first of all, that's the best advice. You want to teach one thing, and we're all passionate teachers, and it's like, oh, I could teach you this, and I could teach one thing. Human brains when we start getting a lot of complexity, that's when we start shutting down. It's like too much information. I don't know what to do with it. I was in a program years ago, and this mentor was over delivering value. He'd say, come to an hour webinar, we'd be there for 4 hours. And then he put us in his like a website of things to do. And I looked at the first one and there were 28 things to do on day one. I'm like, I'm out of this program. Like, I'm overwhelmed. So I recommend that you actually ask your audience, if I could give you one result in 9 weeks, what would the one result be? So I'm a business consultant. If I could give you one result in your business, what would that be? If you were helping with fitness, if I could give you one result to make your fitness routine better, what's the one result? Let your audience tell you the one result, and then create a program. Usually about 9 weeks works really well, with one thing in mind. At the end, you can offer another program for 9 weeks with the next thing you want to teach. Keep it small, keep it specific, have people get results. They'll do case studies for you, and you practice, your business stays full.
I love that. Now, you mentioned Slack earlier. This is another great coaching conundrum of, I call it the I don't want to have another Facebook group syndrome, where we have a coaching thing and Facebook is the groups are so convenient, but like I always do the joke of, hey, everybody raise your hand if you want to join another Facebook group. Said no one ever. Like that is just like, people don't want to do it. I don't want to create one. I don't want to be in one. So you mentioned that you use Slack, and that's working for, I feel like having a coach to many communication platform is important, where you can they can communicate with each other. You can communicate with them. They can communicate with you. What do you like about Slack? And then I also want to know if you have noticed any other platform that's working for your clients that isn't a Facebook group.
Yeah, I love Slack. So I have a couple of Slack channels. I have one with my team. So everybody on my team, if I have a question, it goes there. If they completed a project, it goes there. Everything is done in Slack. There's records of our communication. So I use it with my team. And then I loved it so much with my team, I said, wonder if my clients will like it. So we started a Slack channel quite a while ago. My clients love it because it's one place to go to, one place they can communicate with me, with each other. They can get accountability. They can say, hey, I'm thinking of doing this course. Would everyone review it? See what you think. So it becomes much more of an open communication mastermind. We can put documents there. We can upload, download videos, just audio. It gives you a lot of versatility. And by the way, I don't use the paid version. I use the free version. Okay.
Nice.
The other thing that I use is Marco Polo. Marco Polo is an app on your phone, like a walkie-talkie. I loved it when they had Marco Polo channels, which is going away in April, which was a great client communication tool. However, regular Marco Polo allows you to create groups. You can do almost the same thing without channels, and you can do videos and talk to each other. That's a backup for me. Slack is the primary. Facebook group, I will just address that briefly. I don't put my clients in a Facebook group, and here's why. Facebook owns those groups. They own everything in the group. For whatever reason, and I've seen this over the years, they just pull some people's groups down. Like, you have no idea why it went down. Forget contacting anyone. It's all AI. If your group gets pulled down by accident through Facebook, you're done. You just lost all those people. I had a group with over 18,000 people a while ago, and one day the group was gone. Facebook has no idea where it went and doesn't have any record of the group. 18,000 people. So I'd never do that with my clients. I do have a group, Entrepreneurs with Terri Levine, that has about 7,000 people in a true mastermind community. They're not my clients. They're coaches and consultants who choose to learn from me. I just know you can't rely on Facebook. So that's why I use Slack.
Any Slack communication best practices? I know, like 5 years ago, I was really into Facebook groups, and I feel like I could pull some of my tactics out of that and into a platform like Slack. Like, I would love to go, all right, it's Mingle Monday. Everybody post their link for their show, and let's do a rating and review. Or Wednesday, WINS day. What's your biggest win of the last week? Like, can you put some of those prompts out there to facilitate communication on Slack? Any thoughts around that, or ideas to facilitate communication?
I love how you're thinking. So that's exactly what we do in our Slack channel. We have several different areas of the Slack channel. One is where they get their weekly training video from me and then some type of a home play from me. One is daily inspiration, where anyone can share anything that's inspiring. One that's celebrations, wins, big or small. I have a client who just posted something personal in there. It doesn't matter. We're all in here together. Then every single day we have a theme just like that. And then we do a help. So if they need help from the group, they can ask. And then we have a daily question. And that's if you have a question for me, I will answer it. And then we have one more. And that is where we share our intentions for the day, not to do.
Nice.
What do we intend to experience and feel and transform? And so we share those. Most of my clients do that by video. So they're really getting to see each other and to get used to each other. And they're really bonding that way.
So are those individual threads that are like selectable on the Slack platform, or is it just one big feed where you kind of got to go and find it?
No, it's so cool. Slack lets you set up all these different channels within your main channel. So all these different channels are set up and they just go into the right channel. And there's a direct message channel. So I had someone with something really personal today. She doesn't want to post that for everyone. She just direct messages my name. I saw it, I respond, and we're on our way. So yeah, you get to divide it up. And like I said, it's free. I've used the paid version. It would have been recommended. You don't need it.
We might have to go to the side and have you film a little Slack tutorial for me, and I can load that up somewhere inside my membership content. I'm definitely going to use that because my members of my Download Growth Club have been asking for something like that, and I'm refusing to start a Facebook group. And so I think that Slack, that's definitely been on my radar, and I think you have officially convinced me. So I want to talk a little bit about client onboarding, because I feel like a lot of us mess that up, where we get them in, we celebrate the sale, and we're like, yes. And then we kind of fumble around and their initial experience isn't that great. So what does a successful client onboarding process look like for you? What are some best practices that you try to implement yourself?
So one of the words that I've been using in business forever is outrageous. I want to do things that are so outrageous that my client family members, as I call them, are constantly going, wow. So I'm not going to onboard everyone individually because I may have 30 people joining this month. So I can't individually onboard everyone. However, they get a swag bag.
Nice.
They get a call from someone on my team that is a welcoming call and answering any questions that they have. They get a private video from me that I shoot in Dub, which is my favorite video platform. Then they also get a handwritten personal letter mailed. Yeah, good old snail mail from me. No email, no Facebook Messenger. Everything is personalized. And every single quarter, just so you know, we keep doing outrageous things that they don't expect. Things show up in the mail, letters, postcards, gifts, just things to let them know that this was not about a transaction. This is about a long-term relationship, a friendship.
That is, I'm a big fan of that. Those aha moments, those surprises, adding some extra value. When I first launched my podcast, my first health podcast, Million Pound Mission, I wrote a book on Amazon and like secretly released it. And I started talking about how I would send copies to people. And I would write a handwritten note on the inside of the cover and send it to them. And then I started getting these emails that were like, thank you so much. Did you have your son write the note for you? Like, because my handwriting is terrible. It's terrible. So I kind of got embarrassed about it. And a lot of people were just teasing me and everything. But so I quit doing the handwritten notes because, and I had somebody that's like, was from like South Africa, and it was like $400 to send him this book or something. I was like, this isn't cost effective anymore, because I wasn't making any money at that point. So I was like, all right, we're gonna go a different route. But I love the idea. Like there are services like Teespring where I can create merch on the fly and ship it direct, or even Amazon. Like now, somebody has a book on Amazon, you can just buy yourself a book on Amazon and direct ship it to whoever you're trying to send it to. So there are slicker ways to do that now. But so what's in the swag bag? Like what do you got? What kind of goodies do you stick in there?
So we have all different kinds of things, and it kind of just depends where we're shipping and what we think people would like. So we have everything from thermoses, we've got jackets, we've got sweaters, we've got sweatshirts, we've got journals, we've got notebooks, we've got, I've written 40 books, so we've got lots of my books.
Lots of books.
Then we have books from some of my other clients and friends that they've contributed. One of the recent things that I wrote, and I'm not selling it anywhere, I just did it for my clients. I put together this beautiful abundance journal, and only they get that. And we leather bind that for them with their names on it engraved. One of the things we've used is a beautiful wooden pen, and it's gorgeous. I use it too. So I look for things that are just sort of cool and fun that they would enjoy. And I'm always asking my clients when they come in, they fill out a little survey like, do you go to the spa? Do you eat chocolate? What do you like to watch? What do you like to read? So when it's their birthday or anniversary, I already know what to send them.
So cool. All right. There are people out there that are like, this all sounds great. I'm a team of one. I've got a $5 monthly budget or whatever. Like if you had to pick one of those big aha surprises as a starter, like what gets the best reaction? What do you love the most? What out of the videos, the handwritten notes, the swag bag, all the things, what would you be, recommending to people that are just getting started if they could only do one of these things?
So when I started, I did handwritten letters. And I didn't have a budget. I just left corporate America. I didn't know if I was going to even make any money at that time. So I just wrote really heartfelt letters. And then we didn't have most of these platforms when I started. Dub, which is the video platform that I happen to use, I send those Dub videos. Number one, they get open. They don't get lost like email does. And I almost always get a response like, I can't believe you took the time to send me this personal video. And so it takes me 30 seconds to say, hey, Adam, I am so glad to welcome you. I'm so glad to have you in the program. I know that you are looking to create six figures quickly. That's what I'm here to help you do. I'm excited to get to know you and to get to know more about you. And I just wanted to tell you, I embrace you as a client family member. Big welcome. It's that simple. And makes a big difference. And it costs you, you can do Dub. If you don't even have the budget for that, do a Loom video. You can do that for free. Okay. So you don't have to spend money to make money. That's a fallacy. You have to spend money as an investment in marketing. You don't spend money to make money. You invest in marketing strategy and marketing mentors that have a proven system. And that's it. Marketing is the only thing that creates income for you, guaranteed.
Well said. All right. With Dub, I'm interested in this now. So I've used BombBomb before. I've used Loom. There was another one that I used. Are you on your phone knocking these videos out? Is it over a computer? Like how easy is it to do so? Like I would love to be able to just look at my phone, blah, 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 send it, away it goes, and it gets open. That'd be amazing.
It is amazing. I had used BombBomb first, and then the owners of Dub came to me and said, somebody told us that you do hundreds of BombBomb videos. Dub is much cheaper. It has a lot more assets. We'd like you to try it. I said, I don't know if I want to switch. Well, I beta tested it for 2 weeks, and I'm like a raving fan. I probably can do video testimonials for them all day. I'll definitely send you a link. Here's why I love it. It tells me everything. I know if you opened the video. I know if you opened it once or 50 times. By the way, I recently had a client look at the same video 8 times. I'm like, oh, she is really paying attention.
Yeah,
right?
She's in.
Okay. I do it from my phone. I do it from my iPad. I do it from my computer. I was out on right behind me is my lovely balcony here in Mexico, and it's a beautiful view. And so I did one this morning to someone, and I said, hey, I know you're in snow and cold. I thought I'd share this with you. Boom, on my phone, sent. 5 minutes later, I get the notification that she's viewed it. Okay. So I love it. And it has a very high open rate.
That's key. I forget what the very first one that I used was. It wasn't BombBomb, but the open rate sucked. Like it was really bad. And I was like, I'm spending time doing these videos. Nobody's opening them. This isn't what I want. Is that like an email service plugin? Is it, networked in through your Gmail, or is that?
Yep.
Okay.
networked in fact, when I click on my Gmail, the little Dub logo is there if I want to do a Dub video. And in Slack, the Dub logo is there too. I can just add the Dub video there. So yeah, Dub has a lot of plugins. They do branding, so it comes out under your brand. There's call to actions if you want to add to the videos. It really is like my main technology that I am a huge fan of. Huge.
Sounds like you got me on Dub and Slack today there, Dr. Terri. This is great. This is great. I love tech. You know, the deeper I get into my career, the more I can leverage tech to create more value, but also save me time, because you and I both know I live my life a certain way, like 4-day work week, hardcore. Like I monitor how many days I don't work. That's one of my most important metrics. Like you said, like I'm not sacrificing lifestyle points just to go make more money. So I got to figure out how I can leverage and get more efficient. So I freaking love this. High ticket coaching. All right. I want to know how you would define high ticket. I get that question a lot. I want to have a high ticket offer, but is that $500? Is that $5,000? Is it $50,000? How do you first define a high ticket coaching offer?
So this is just Terry's viewpoint, $2,500 and more. I mean, I have clients, Mia Redrick, who's been with me for, I don't even know, 20 years. And she's got a high ticket offer of $100,000. She has massive experience, hundreds of thousands of testimonials and case studies. She can justify that. I do want to just say the coaching industry became all about high ticket, and that's a problem in my view. You want to be able to meet people. They're on a parade. People are in the back of the parade going, I don't know. I don't know if I need this. I don't know if I want this. And I don't know about you. They're at the bottom of the parade. They are not ready for your high ticket offer. So if you have a very low entry point, they can dip their toe in. Then you've got people in the middle of the parade that are like, oh, I want help with my podcast. And now I'm trying to decide, do I want you? They're in the middle and they're almost at the front. They need an offer that's more medium. And then you're going to have the people that just jump to the front, like I did with you, like, Adam, let's go, let's do this. And those people can have a higher ticket offer. So please don't follow what's being taught out there, because that's why, in my experience, most coaches aren't at 6, never mind 7 figures. They just are trying to sell high ticket. I don't do that. Okay. I don't believe that it's ethical. I don't believe that it's fair. I believe if you want to transform lives, you transform them at all different levels. And it doesn't matter that only a handful of people can pay for your highest program. Those people get something different. You can still serve masses of people, transform. I mean, I've had over 6,000 clients. I've transformed a lot of lives, never mind through, my books, my podcasts, and all that other stuff. I'm just talking about paid clients. So I'm going to ask everyone to really think about 3 offers, not just high ticket, Adam.
Okay. Great point. And let's talk about maybe that initial offer too. Like maybe somebody's just getting started in coaching. I have no idea what to charge. Like it's real. I know, I get asked this question all the time. It's impossible for somebody like you or myself to go, and here is what your high ticket offer should be. Let me just paint this with a broad brush. It doesn't work that way. But what are your recommendations as far as just figuring it out for ourselves? Like any tips on here is how you figure out what you should charge for your initial coaching package, your initial 9-week session, your month-to-month price? Any thoughts on just how to figure that out?
Yeah. So I always tell people to think backwards and start with your low end offer first. What is one quick result that you can give someone that doesn't take you a lot of time, energy, or money? Maybe they're going through an automated course with a couple of videos and things like that. Very simple. $97. Why 97? We don't have to think. It's most of us have $97 we can put on a credit card. It's disposable income. We don't have to go, oh my gosh, let me think about it. Let me ask my partner, should I spend 90? It's a pretty much a no-brainer decision. And the goal is to get as many people in your low ticket so that they can move through the parade. So that's 97. The medium one can be anywhere, depending on your experience, from about $497 to about $3,000. Okay, not over $3,000. And I'll tell you why. We've done a lot of research on this. As soon as it gets to hit that number 3,000, people already have to give a lot of thought to it. It's not a quick, instantaneous decision. And you want your medium offer to be, heck yeah, I'm all in. What is it? $497. Yeah, I don't exactly usually spend that kind of money. I might not have that kind of money. However, I really, really want this result. I'll do it. And by the way, the average person can go out and replace their television. If it's Super Bowl Sunday and they want to watch the Super Bowl and their TV breaks, you can tell me they have no money. They're going home with a TV. Okay, I've seen it. And then your high ticket offer, as I said, I say $2,500 on up. Most of my client family members are charging between $5,000 and $10,000 for their higher ticket offers. And again, I don't focus there. I focus, let me get you in, let me move you. And a handful of people are going to jump right here. The problem is most people try and get everyone here. Think about the continuum. Does that make sense, Adam?
Yeah. Well, how do you introduce the offers? This is something I'm always just like all over the place about. I have a very simplified offer, sampler platter, like you suggest, but do we let everybody know about all three zones at once, or do you try to figure out where they fit and kind of steer them towards that as you build relationships? That's what I tend to do. I have people sometimes get mad at me though, because they're like, I didn't know that you did that. That's what I need. And I was like, well, you were talking about this other thing. So that's where we brought the conversation. So any thoughts around that?
I do. So a couple things. Never put your prices online. So I shouldn't go to your website and say, hey, you want to hire me? Here's my prices. Because all that does is have me go look for somebody who charges less than you. It's not the way to do business. A really bad idea. The second thing is don't put all your offerings out there on your website or in front of people, because a confused mind doesn't buy. If you remember nothing else from this conversation, please remember that. A confused mind doesn't buy. When I go into a restaurant and they hand me a menu like this, I literally give it to my husband and I go, order me something. Like, I don't even want to look at it. I'm like, pick something. I'm not even looking. A confused mind doesn't buy. So when I do a deep dive breakthrough, and my team does them now primarily, we listen with all our heart and we ask, can what we have continue a transformation for this person? If the answer is no, we don't extend our hand. We may recommend somebody else or something else. If we go, oh my gosh, this person had a major transformation and we could help them have more, we let them know that. And because we've listened and we've been with them for 2 hours, we're heartrepreneurs connecting heart to heart, then we know exactly what the right offer is. And we're leaders. We don't let the customer decide what they need. We say, listen, based upon what I've heard and based upon the transformation you just had, I really want you to join my 6-figure accelerator, because that is the right program for you. That's what people want to hear. And that's what I strongly recommend.
Wow, that makes me feel good, because that's definitely the route that I'm taking. And it takes a lot of patience, and it's hard sometimes because you want to offer puke on people sometimes, like, and then there's this, but wait, there's more. This is also great for you and you should do them all. And it's really, really hard, but I've seen so much more success being patient, letting the person kind of self-select into the right program just by relationship building. And just with me, like, I had somebody that just joined my membership and we first talked probably more than a year ago, and she was interested then. And I keep her in my orbit. She's in my world. And all of a sudden she's like, ready to go, coach. All right, cool. Here we go. And no sales conversation needed, which is great. I want to talk a little bit about what we're working on together, because you just started testing it out and it went phenomenally. And I think a lot of my listeners will want to attend the next one that you do. So we're working together on what I call building a community client bridge, where our first objective is the community engagement lead magnet. So basically, one of the things that I do is I help people create what I do with PodPal Zoom party for my brand. And so we had some initial conversations, and I want you to tell the audience what we came up with and then how the first one went, because I'm really excited to share your results.
I am too. So while I've been podcasting, when I came to Adam, like, I don't really have a community. It's just people listen to my podcast. I don't really know what's going on. So we took his model and I held my first connect and collaborate party on Zoom. And first of all, I thought a good number of people signed up, but I thought, oh, not that many will show up. Well, we had tremendous attendance and everyone stayed till the end. And first of all, for me, I'll talk about my experience. I had a blast. So some of them were my client family members who I already love and adore. And some of them were people I may have seen on social media. And some of them, I don't even know how they got there. So I got to meet all these cool new people. At the first about 10 minutes, I taught a whole concept about disruption and how things were disrupting their day and how to be focused. And people were like, oh my God, I'm taking notes. This is amazing. It was about 10 minutes. And then I asked if they had questions. We moved on. And the rest of it was really a freaking fun party. So I called on each person, very similar to modeling what you did. They got to give, sort of we call it a core unique positioning statement. And then they got to say how they wanted to connect and collaborate. And I was monitoring the chat. And first of all, I was blown away. I'm like, this one's getting booked. This one's doing a Facebook Live. This one's writing a blog. I'm like, oh my God, like every single person walked away with like a major, and I don't mean like a little bitty connection, like something major. And I'm looking at the chat. Then the thing ends. And people are immediately signing up for the next one. And they're saying, can I invite friends to this? And then, as you know, I started to get comments and videos. I got another one today that was like, one of them said this, Terri, all the networking that I do online, I was paying a huge amount of money to be in this networking quote group. I got more from your free connection and collaboration party than I got from that networking event. And I just dropped out. I was like, oh my gosh. So I thank you because for me, it is a fun way to build community. We have another one coming up in February. I already can't wait. And they're all getting together. They're getting connected. And then that's appearing as one of my podcasts. So hopefully more people will be like, I want in that. So I'm so glad that we're working together on this.
It went really well and you killed it. Like you had so many people show up, more than I've ever had for Pod Pals, which is, I mean, like out of the gate, I'm like, the student has become the teacher. But I'm so proud of that. And I love seeing all the social media messages being sent, people posting and just like so many mind-blowing moments. Dr. Terri does it again. So I'm very excited for that. Now, if people want to attend the next one, where are we going to send them to get signed up? And I'll put the link in the notes as well, but it's always good to say it audio wise as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure that I have that in front of me, or I'd be happy.
We'll put it in the show notes. That's easily done. I put you on this. I'll put you on the spot there. But
and I would say to people, like do it right away. I'm just a little bit blown away, but and I only have 35 seats because I'm really making sure everyone gets quality time. And based on the people who've signed up so far for this one, like I recommend that you get in there because I am seeing some really high leverage people that can expedite things for you. So get in there, join us.
So think about if you guys are listening, and if you have a coaching program, most likely, if you listen this far, you probably do, you're thinking about it, and you've gotten a great affiliate for referrals. Well, you can do your unique positioning statement and go, and if we do business together, if you invite me to speak on your show and I make some sales, then I have this affiliate commission, and like all this networking is happening. All that's being facilitated inside of what Dr. Terri's doing. I want to pop in on the next one. Like I'm going to get signed up and be in there for sure. So you guys need to join me. So I'll put that link in the show notes. If you guys have questions about that, just reach out to your buddy, Adam. All right. Dr. Terri, this has been awesome. I need to make sure people know where they should go to dive into your world. Obviously, I'll put links to your podcast and all that good stuff. But what's a good website just to direct people to if they want to get a little bit more of what you've got out there?
So right now, just go over to heartrepreneur.com, which is my main website, and you can find, first of all, there's tons of freebies on there and free resources. But from there, you can actually find my free webinars, my free challenges, my free programs. And the only other place that I spend a lot of time hanging out is with my community on Facebook. There's about 7,000 coaches, consultants, speakers, trainers, podcasters, bloggers, and authors there. And that is another place where people are doing business together. And that's Heartrepreneurs with Terri Levine. And hopefully Facebook never touches that group.
Let's hope. Let's hope, Dr. Terri. Oh my goodness. This was so good. I was really excited about this just because we know each other. We've been collaborating already, and I couldn't wait to have you on the show because coaching, I'm proud to call myself a coach. Like I'm that guy that I want a coach license plate. I want a shirt that says I'm a coach. Because we're impact makers and we drive positive change with individuals, with groups, in the world in general. So if we can help anybody out there level up with what they're doing, make more impact leads to income, awesome. So I feel like you've totally delivered with this episode. Thank you so much. It's been awesome. And I can't wait to kind of continue our own journey. So thanks for your time today.
Thank you. Bye for now.
All right, everybody. Lots and lots to think about. I've made a ton of notes. I'm getting new tech. I'm going to sign up for Slack and for Dub right now. I can't wait. And we're going to start implementing. So what are you going to implement on? Maybe set that implementation alarm on your phone. Hit that little reminder 24 hours from now. Better take action on something that I learned from this episode, or Adam's going to come and chase me down. Maybe he sends me a Dub message. I don't know. But let's take action on those things. And I'm going to leave you, as always, wishing you health, happiness, and many downloads. We'll see you next time.